I run across this and I thought it was very interesting. This 100-year-old doctor explaining how to get off certain medications for diabetes, for high blood pressure, cholesterol, and I thought it was very interesting. Especially, he explained the experiments that they did with rats. Check this out. Let's watch some of this together.
I call a diet alcohol and hardline drugs.
Okay.
In other words, we read a statement in the book Minister of Healing by E.G. White, page 334. It said, many who would not be guilty of placing on their table wine or liquor of any kind will load their table with food, which creates such a thirst for strong drink that to resist the temptation is almost impossible. Wrong habits of eating and drinking destroy the health and prepare the way for drunkenness. So Dr. Register was head of our nutrition department at Loma Linda.
Yeah.
And he wanted to know if there's any scientific evidence for this. So he thought he would do a rat study and see. And he designed a diet which he called the poor teenage diet. It's junk food. When the rats drink liquid, it's water.
Right.
Every rat knows not to drink alcohol.
Yeah.
Humans haven't learned that yet, but all rats know this, okay? So they don't drink alcohol. But if you put them on this junk food diet, they do.
So they have a craving for alcohol if they're eating the junk food diet.
Yes. Here was donuts and coffee, hot dogs with mustard and pickle rollies, soft drink, apple pie and coffee, sweet rolls, spaghetti and meatballs, French bread, green beans, tossed salad, chocolate cake and coffee, 3 filled cookies for evening snack, candy bar, coffee, junk food. He blended this up in the a blender with water and then dried it out. And you feed that to the rats compared to a good diet.
And they ate it.
And they start drinking alcohol.
Wow.
And I have a slide here which shows them when they're on the good diet, the height of the line represents how much alcohol they're drinking. They don't drink any. They drink water. But if you give them this junk food diet, they start off drinking a little alcohol.
Yeah.
It was a 12-week study, and by the 7th week, they take off and become real alcoholic rats.
But they have to have the alcohol all the time, no matter what you do with their diet.
That's right. And then we put them back on a good diet again, and they stop drinking alcohol. They drink water.
Interesting. That is fascinating.
It is fascinating. And so then they took the formerly alcoholic rats, paired them off and mated them, and the progeny of these alcoholic rats tend to like alcohol, even though their parents are no longer alcoholics.
So it affects actually the DNA. They pass that on to their offspring.
Yes.
So the baby rats are more inclined to drink alcohol because the parents did.
That's right. Now, we found out biochemically exactly how that works. We have 8 or 9 essential amino acids in a protein we eat. About 6% of it is phenylalanine. Phenylalanine goes to make tyrosine. That goes to make dopamine. Dopamine, it goes to make tetrahydropaviroline, which is in the poppy plant.
Oh, it's like an opium.
Yes. And so they radioactive tag that with carbon-14. And 50% of the carbon-14 came out in the urine as morphine, codeine, normorphine, or norcodeine, the precursors. So why does that happen? Well, when it gets to the dopamine, which is the center in the brain, which is the exciting center that likes food and stuff, that center of the brain, that dopamine goes to make something else, which is a aldehyde, 3,4-dihydroxyphenylaldehyde. That's toxic.
Yeah.
So your body quickly converts it to the acid form. But if you get a little alcohol, that blocks that. So it makes it go down to make more opium. Okay? Now, it doesn't have to do it that way. It can go another direction and make the basic building block of the body biochemically, the coenzyme A, acetyl coenzyme A. But it takes lots of good nutrients to do it. On a junk food diet, you don't get all those good nutrients.
Yeah.
So you tend to make more opium.
Hmm.
So they drink more alcohol because they're getting the opium, which demands the alcohol.
Yeah. It becomes an endless cycle.
Yes. Now we know something else about this thing. We know this is true because we injected those rats that were alcoholic with morphine,
Yeah.
and they drank water.
Interesting.
They were already getting what the body craved.
I guess the bottom line is we're saying that the diet, and this junk food diet, it ended up making addicts out of rats.
Now, something else that's new you should know about, obesity. If you give those people a opiate blocker so they can't make opium, they lose their taste for the things that they used to crave. In other words, when they were getting too much of the wrong foods, too much sugars and too much fats, they began to make opium in their bodies. So if you block that, then you won't crave those foods.
It's amazing that there's actually an integral internal mechanism that's driving them in these things.
Yes.
We're talking about reversing diabetes and hypertension, which is connected, I guess, with high blood pressure and obesity. Have you observed people, do you know cases where people have been diabetics and they're taking insulin, they've made a change in their diet, they lose the weight, and they get where they don't need the medicine anymore?
Yes, right here at Weimar, in this little institution, they had done these New Start programs, changed their diet, put them on an exercise program, and they can get off the
medicine.
The insulin.
So there are a lot of case studies then of people who actually are able to reverse their diabetes. And we're not saying in every case, but in most cases, a lifestyle change would do this. And that'll also help them, of course, with the obesity and the high blood pressure. Any studies on how that will lengthen their lives?
Yes, Dr. Ornish in 1990 in San Francisco took a group of patients who had clogged up coronary arteries. He put food on their porch every day for a year and then checked a year later. 82% of those had a reversal of their atherosclerosis.
Wow.
They had only 12 milligrams of cholesterol a day and 5% of the calories saturated fat. So that's what did it. So if we eat right, that means a vegetarian diet. If you eat like this, you don't get all those problems, and you can reverse what you already have.
Wow, that was very interesting. I would like to read some comments of people who have tried this and it worked for them. I'm very interested in that. All right, thanks for watching and subscribe to my channel, and have a great day.